Welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back to another F1 video for today, but this time we are going to be checking out the W Series. We checked out before like once or twice. I think the main person I know is like Jamie Chadwick. That's like really the only girl I really know. So shout out to WTF1 as always. Is this the fairest motorsport ever? So we can cut my gum. Anyway, this probably has been the most weirdest of intros. Let's just get straight into it. Don't forget to like the video and sub as well. Let's just check out more of the W. Let's go.
Nothing's kept.
Also, race 3 p.m. on Sunday, U.S. Grand Prix. We should be live for it. Being us not play this week, we should be live for it. Be on the lookout. Be on the lookout. I'll give you guys like a reminder as well, of course, but be on the lookout. We should be live for that, man. No issues.
Fairness is our absolute key here.
I would have been stupid to not apply.
Is this the fairest racing series ever? It's an argument that gets brought up a lot in F1. Lewis Hamilton wouldn't be dominating if he was in another car, or which driver would be on top if they were all in the same car. The problem is, most current motorsport series can never truly be fair. Even spec series like IndyCar or Formula 2, despite having identical cars, have teams with different levels of experience and budgets, meaning even though it's arguably closer racing, you will still tend to have more successful teams than others.
Right.
However, it looks like the W Series may have found a solution to all of this. Not only does this series operate as a spec series by all using the same car, but they take it one step further by having drivers swap both their car and race engineer after each round.
Whoa. I understand the fairness, but say I win at Monaco, right? And next week we're racing at like Spain or Italy, stuff like that. You tell me I have to swap the car I just won with somebody else. And then their car, who probably came like P12 or whatever, I have to use their car. How does that make sense? How does that make sense? I don't. I mean, it's interesting, but let's just keep going with it, 'cause that's very, very interesting.
This new style of racing is creating something that's...
And my race engineer who helped me win the race, I can't use him or her for next week.
quickly being referred to as a pure spec series. But how does this work in practice? Does it actually make for fairer racing?
Weird, bro.
And should other series make a move towards a pure spec series?
No.
Champions of fair racing themselves, Puma Motorsport, invited us down to the Norris Ring in Germany to find out how fair racing can be. Let's start with the people that are most affected by fairness, the drivers. Ordinarily, drivers have to come up with copious amounts of money to even think about participating in racing, making it one of the biggest barriers for aspiring drivers to break into the industry. Unlike most other racing series, there is no entry fee for the W Series. None. Meaning no need for the drivers to find additional backing or sponsorship, and no driver being able to buy their way onto a race team.
So
Our drivers pay nothing. Nothing at all.
A whole season's racing for free? Sign me up.
Hey, I'll take that. That's pretty nice though. That's really nice. Because obviously the W6 isn't as big as Formula 1, stuff like that. So, but it's cool to see them like, listen, you don't have to pay anything, no entry fee, nothing, just come in, do your thing, and then go from there.
We pay their fares, airfares, hotels, breakfast, lunch and tea. All they have to do is get themselves to their local airport, whether that's Heathrow or Tokyo, and on top of that we give them prize money, $500,000 for the winner. So that's pretty unique.
That's pretty
and
nice.
Considering that a lack of financial backing spells
now,
the end of
this is
most
like 4
racing
years
careers,
ago, so I'm not sure how it is now.
This sounds like a big step towards securing talent over resource.
Unfortunately stopped racing about 4 years ago, just due to funding really. I won 2 Formula Renault championships, one in the UK and one in Asia, but still wasn't able to get the funding to continue. So luckily W Series has got me back out racing again.
That's crazy.
So who gets to race? Well, the final 18 drivers plus 2 reserve drivers were selected via 2 pre-season tests, where they were track driving, doing media and presentation, and fitness assessments. The top performing drivers made it through to the championship. However, there's another factor we need to consider. At this point, you're still going to have drivers with a little more racing experience than others.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
So has the driver with the most experience run away with the championship? Well, not if we look at the results, no. Like in other spec series, the drivers all race the same car. In this series, they use a Tatus F3 T318, a car that is currently used in FIA Formula 3 Regional Championship, making the W Series effectively a regional F3 championship.
Yeah.
It's powered by a 1.7-litre inline-4 turbocharged engine built by Alfa Romeo and make around 270 brake horsepower. But here's where it gets interesting. All of the cars are run by just one team, Hi-Tech GP. Hi-Tech GP supply all of the race crew and engineers for the entire series, meaning that in theory, no driver can gain an advantage through having a more experienced or better resourced team.
See, that's... like I said, I get the fairness of it, trying to make it fair, stuff like that. But hey, you have one team basically, everybody has one car. So to me, if everybody has the same car, it's basically who can drive the car the best. And that comes down to like experience, like he said. So if I have somebody who's been doing it for like 5 years compared to somebody's first year, obviously the person who has 5 years, you know, they're going to be more comfortable with the car because they've been using it for like a minute. Plus, they just getting, you know, little driver experience as well themselves. Like not even for the car, just little, you know, nicks and pieces that they're picking up, little tips and tricks. That's interesting. That's very, very interesting. You guys, let me know your guys' thoughts about that, man. That's interesting.
In fact, there is a set range of parameters that the teams are allowed to work within at each specific track.
Engineers do have a bit of freedom between setup, front wing, rear bar, a bit of rake as well, just so that they can tune it into what their driver needs. Some drivers like the car a bit on the oversteery side so they can rotate easily.
That's what I'm
Others,
saying,
it
like-
might unnerve them a bit and they prefer it a bit on the understeery side.
All the data from all drivers and all sessions is shared, meaning that no one can gain an advantage from more experience in car setup.
Wait, what?
And they prefer it a bit on the understeery side.
All the data from all drivers and all sessions is shared, meaning that no one can gain an advantage from more experience in car setup.
That is lame. That's crazy too. So if Susan sees something, you know, that could work, and she can't keep it for herself, she has to what? Like share it with like everybody else. Hey guys, so I've learned, you know, like after, you know, you get past turn 1, if you do XYZ with the car, you can get a better result. Like what? Like, but that doesn't mean that everybody's going to use it, of course, but still.
I guess from my point of view, sometimes, you know, I've been quick, say, and practice, and you know that everyone's got the opportunity to see what you're up to and see the data in the onboards, but I think that's just a really selfish racing driver way of thinking, and naturally I think that's just the way it is. And on the other flip side of it, I've been off the pace and been able to use other people to get myself up there.
And if you're one,
But I get it, but it's competitive sport. You're still trying to win at the end of the day. I mean, like I said, it is selfish. I mean, maybe Chaz is being selfish. Selfish Chaz. Selfish Chaz Friday. But still though, like, if I see something like for the car, I don't want to share it with anybody else. I'm trying to win at the end of the day. But
wondering about what happens if a driver manages to crash a car during a race.
If a driver retires from the race, then they have to keep that chassis for the next round. The best way we can police it is that if you have a damaged car, it's unfair to then put that car in a lottery for another driver, so then maybe inherit some problems that may be driver or not driver related.
So how does this all feel from a fan's point of view? One of the good points would include the fact that if you're rooting for a specific driver,
Sure,
this is probably as close as you're going to get to seeing their true potential.
If everything was a bit fairer and money wasn't such an object, we would have more talent racing at higher levels.
yeah, that's
Despite
true.
all the
That's true.
fairness, you
Makes
may
sense.
also miss a bit of the good old team rivalries here and there.
The Pure Spec series, it works quite well that it's mainly driver based,
But should other series adopt this sort of setup, or does that ruin part of the fun?
but at the same time, if all series went to a Pure Spec one, it would kind of eliminate the whole thing of teams and kind of the
whole
actual
team.
engineering side behind setting up the
Yeah,
car and
true.
working away and building them right.
So the question remains, does it actually make for fairer racing? Overall, it would seem that it's a yes, and we'd say that's a good thing.
Yeah.
As race fans, let us know what you think. Is this something you'd like to see in
Like I said, I get it because the fairness and stuff like that, and obviously, like I say, like the money and stuff is different. Like obviously, there's more money like involved. I'm assuming, obviously, we will have more Formula 1, 2 based in terms of like separate teams, and I'll have like each team's engineer stuff like that. So I get it. So I think it's me. Like I think the part I just don't like is obviously like if one driver knows something, they have to share with everybody else. Because at the end of the day, I'm still trying to win. Like still like driver against driver. But like he said, that's when like the true talent of the driver comes out. Like, yeah, like we both have the same car, but who's gonna drive it better? You know what I mean? So it's interesting, very very interesting. I really didn't know that about DLW. Shout out to DLW though, man. I know I see y'all doing your thing. Keep doing it. Hey, some of the things I would kind of change, but hey, shout out to Dub. Shout out to W. As always, don't forget to like the video and sub as well. Take care. Stay amazing. As always. Peace.